been traveling with you for a long time.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to talk to you for a long time as well, but I needed to pass through some things before I was allowed to connect in. I needed to be where I am, which is I've anchored in a way I've never experienced before. And yeah, I wasn't there before. I was still wanting something from connecting in with you, and now I don't feel like that. I feel like I'm here to be myself.
Yes.
And
yes.
I'm not looking to get anything from connecting with you. I'm here to express my frequency and myself.
Yes.
And be with you with that and see what happens from there.
Yeah. Fucking A. That's the I am soul. That's what it is.
Yeah, it is. And it's beautiful too. It's beautiful.
Well, we talked and
it's gut-wrenchingly beautiful.
Yeah. I was going to say what we talked about before the show, but
yeah,
I think that describes it perfectly. It's gut-wrenching. Yeah. You know the love is there. The pain is there. The confusion is there. The unknowing is there, and you know you have to stay open no matter what.
Yeah.
And
that's it.
Not close anything out, just and keep going and keep showing up.
Yeah. It's a turning to the light. It's a no matter how many times you get, punched in the face. I say that, life beat me up for a bit. And I just keep turning my face back to the light. No matter how deep I get hit, I just keep turning my face and keep going in that direction, because that is home. That's where I belong. That's who I am. So it doesn't, on one level, matter what's happening to me in the physical universe. That's not the truth. It's just an experience. And every time I go through initiations, and there have been many, I come back more like a diamond and less like a piece of coal.
Yeah.
And so even though my human self says, fuck,
yeah,
I don't want to deal with this. My higher self is like, wee, let's go.
Yeah, like those that meme where the kid's like his hair's all up in the air and he's going down the roller coaster and he's freaking out. It's like, and the lady next to him is smiling. It's the higher self. And it's weird because there's this handoff happening between, what we're used to, like talking, and the way we communicate, and the types of patterns we have come out of, to this intuitive telepathic thing. Yet there's these heartstrings that are very real. And for as much as the human experience is not this much of what's going on, there's something in the upside down paradox of it all, that our greatest wisdom and opportunities in the present moment with full consciousness as a human being, like you coming on here and saying, look, this is the perfect time for me. I've got nothing I have no expectations. I've got, I'm just going to be me.
Yeah.
It's like that seems mundane in our multidimensionality, but there's some gold there.
Well, honestly, I'd say it's the gold for me.
Yeah.
Like, that's where life has been cornering me into this for a long time. It's in the simplicity. It's in the being. And I've been on paths that could have taken me to fame or fortune or high recognition or many other things, but it always got closed. I always sabotaged it somehow, or life basically put an end to it. And in the most amazing ways were doors closed for me, because if I had gone down those paths, I wouldn't be who I am now. And who I am now there's a purity to it, there's a transparency and a meanness. I'm not attached to, like, there's things that I like I love flowers, and I love my dandelion tea, and I've got my things that I love, but it doesn't define me. It's just play. And I was a jazz singer for 25 years, and I was a teacher, and I was all these other things. And one by one, those labels got stripped away from me and were taken from me in a way. And every time they were, I felt such relief, because who we are is so much more than any label could describe.
Yeah.
We are infinite, we are eternal, we are life expressing itself in play. And I am as valuable interfacing with a ladybug as I am being applauded by 10,000 people on a stage.
Yep.
That interaction with the ladybug actually for me is even more profound, because there's something so simple about it.
Yep.
And I couldn't be more pleased that all the things I thought I wanted were taken away from me.
Yep.
And the things I really want are now presenting. And they're so beautiful. They're earthy, they're real, they're just simple. It's like I'm living in a village and I'm a simple folk, and I'm being with my kin, and I'm already living the life that I deep down had dreamed for. It's like, it's the new earth, it's the new way. It's not fanciful, and it's cosmic, of course.
It's peace.
It's beyond the human mind, but it's not, there's no bells and whistles here.
Yeah. Just peace. It's
Yeah,
peace.
it
Peace
is.
with yourself, peace with your environment, peace with everything that's happened, peace with what you don't know is going to happen. Because I'm like, rip the Band-Aid off, let's get to it, but
Yeah.
God, I can't remember right now, because for me, this is like a download. Like every moment is a download. And so doing this show, having been off for a bit, going off on a sabbatical and listening to you, I'm trying to remember what the transmission was exactly, but it was something to the effect that this is going down. Jupiter told me this.
Yeah.
This is going down. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like the stories, again, it's a paradox. The stories are not even real. But
No.
in every moment, and especially with what you're talking about, like with you and a ladybug or you and an insect or whatever the case is, it's the true integrity of the Trinity energy of unconditional love, pure intention, aligning our free will with the universal will. It's just like going, you know what? Okay, if the world's going to blow up and we're just going to create a new one, whatever the case is.
That's right.
And
Well, my world blows up all. Sorry, you go.
No, there's a lie. No, I was just going to say, we come together once consciously. We come together once consciously. We are always together consciously. And the concentration of that oneness is becoming the majority of our expanding awareness. So
Yes, it is.
Oneness, and
Yeah.
but we don't get oneness by listening to people or lessons, or we get it by this. What did you call it? Gut wrenching.
Well, I said it's gut-wrenchingly beautiful.
It took bittersweet like a steroid. Bittersweet took a steroid, right?
Well, I feel like that's the line, that's the edge. It's, because for so long we were attached to everything being good. We needed everything to be good. And that's, you could call it the human condition, but it's really the traumatized human condition. Is we fill our hole with toys and money and, things and conditions that are pleasing to us. But it never, like I say, I've been applauded 1,000,000 times and it never filled the hole. It never actually did the work. I had to be on the floor in Fission And many, many, many times for me to actually pass through the eye of the needle, I had to face myself in ways that, and I had to do that in a way by myself. I had life supporting me, but it was like there was a determination, an unrelenting self-inquiry that even when I was, operating through the ego or through my human self, I could still sniff, oh, there's some bullshit here.
No shit. Right? And
And,
go.
you go.
No.
No, you're right. Well, I was going to say the mirror work, and you talk about the mirror work a lot, that there is nothing outside of us that isn't us.
That's right.
And I feel that's been the key to me finding who I really am. Because when we believe that external reality is true to the point that it doesn't belong to us, like it's just happening, then nothing can really change, because we feel like we have external reality to feel good. And that's the attachment to things being good. But actually, it's in recognizing, I am the one creating this unwanted experience. This is coming through me. This is a byproduct of my frequency. And I don't want that frequency to be there. I don't want to be having this experience, but there is a thing in me that is unmet and unseen and unheld that is calling out to me saying, look, I'm here.
Right.
Please.
And does it
love me, please.
Yeah. Can you break it down? Like, I mean, for me, so much of our experience, therefore our opportunity and potential, is in the human interactions. So for me, like, the lessons that are presenting themselves are typically presenting themselves through human interaction. So
For sure.
right, and so the more I think, that old saying, it's never them, it's always me. There's no in between there. It's a fact. If you are God, goddess, you are the one, you are it, that's it. There is no one else. So the whole resolution is in that. And I did it today. I was driving around. I moved into this place for the rest of the year. Very, blessed to have it, and everything worked out. But at the same time, like you said, that gut-wrenching stuff's going on as well. And so I kind of came out of it, and I'm driving up the canyon to come here, and I was like going into my head about, wow, man, I'm getting down to the bones of my ass. But we're here, rent's paid, let's go to work, and you feel that whole higher thing coming in, but that gut-wrenching thing coming in at the same time. It's weird. But again, I went into it, and I said, what are you doing? And I was thinking in terms of people, not just one person, several people, in the situations that were in my head. And I just laughed. I said, man, I am God. Really. Like, what's going to happen? What are you going to do to me? If I'm a soul, and I physically, somebody kills me or whatever, I'm going to go on. And if I'm wrong, then I won't know the difference. But in the meantime, I'm going to live.
Yeah. Was that happening in the last few days? Is that something
today?
Because I had a definite. That was today, right?
There's a lag. Sorry.
Okay.
So for you, the last few days, how's that been?
Well, the day I contacted you, which was the day you were doing that jam with Ty, I think it was it was late last week sometime. I woke up, and I've had this 3 times in the last month. And I get this maybe twice a year or so for the last few years, where I wake up and I feel like, oh, I'm in a new timeline. Like, I wake up and it's a different world. I can feel it. And the morning I contacted you, I woke up with that same feeling. And I'd only had one of those 10 days before, and then one of those 10 days before that. So, and I could feel in the last couple of weeks the trajectory, the energy is just like bowling us over. It's like this wave of light. I could see it as this gold wave, and it's just glittery and big, and it's just fully like just washing over everything. And the day I contacted you, it was so beautiful. It presented to me as a step, and I could see it was like a whole world, and it was gold and glittery. And I was asked, do I want to step up into that? And with it came the consequences of shining my light. Because
Yes.
I say one of the major traumas that I've been unpacking, and it's not from this incarnation, but the major theme is persecution for shining my light. So that's been one of my themes, particularly within groups. So talking to you has been both, I know I'm going to talk to Todd because you're my family, and also my human going, no,
But your higher self going,
we
this
can't do
time
that.
is different. Right.
Well, I actually attempted, like, I went to do it a few times, and I always got a very loud no. No, it wasn't time to do it. And this time it was like, and it's not about talking to you, it's what it means to me. It's a representation of, I
Right.
have decided exactly what you're saying. I'm soul, I am God in a body.
Mm-hmm.
So what could happen to me that possibly isn't the most perfect thing could happen to me? I've already willingly gone through so many situations and let life drag me through the rocks willingly. It was like, okay, do me. And that's what I decided about 5 years ago. It wasn't conscious, but I felt it. It's like I'm saying, all right, life, do me. And it literally felt like a crucifixion, like, all right, give me what you got. Because I knew the old world was dead. I knew it couldn't give me that what I was looking for wasn't in there. And I couldn't employ the old tactics. I had to go another way. And so the fast forward to the day I contacted you, I felt it open up, and I just went, fuck yes. Whereas before I would have been like, what if this happened? What if this? It was too. I was still needing validation from you, and that's fallen away. It's like I've been through too much to not know that I am loved, I am guided, I am the force through which life creates itself. I am a small part of a huge part, but I'm that. So there's nothing to hide from. There's nothing that isn't love at its core anyway. Now, my human, like I briefly said to you, is still walking through initiations, even this morning. And I've got this nervousness in my gut. It's like, oh, here we go again. Here's another thing that I'm going to have to walk through. But I've done it enough that I can hold space for that part of me and just calm her down.
Yeah.
And that's what I've literally been doing for these past, particularly the past 5 years, though I've been on the path for much longer than that. It's just holding the hand of the human,
Yeah.
and saying, it's going to be all right.
See,
And that's it. That's really all I've done.
yeah, and you explained it perfectly because, I mean, I'll just do what I do
Okay.
and extrapolate it
Yeah.
in Todd language. But no, it's like
Please.
we're all connected. That's what brought us together. All these weird connections, like elementals, galactics, experiences, the whole 9 yards, yada, yada, yada. And we thought, we know you've got to embody that, but what does that mean? And then you get down to it, and it's like what you said perfectly, which is it's not about all that multidimensionality. It's about the human having the balls or the ovaries to step into it. But you brought something up so important, which is that's not something we can do with all the conditioning and all the shit in our DNA, suppression, murders, we know the deal. But knowing that we have the support and that support stems from us, and that support that we reach for and that we have faith in immediately comes in and more every day. I think that's the only way we're getting through this right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
The more you engage it, the more ease and grace. And even if you do that, there's still not all ease and grace. It's still a bumpy road.
Well, you know, that's the fun part of the roller coaster, isn't it?
Well, when we get
When
to
you
the
don't
other
think it's going
side,
to work out, kind of thing.
yeah, when we get to the other side, it's going to be the white knuckle part of it that we're going to go, man, that was gold. Yeah. And I know you mentioned you were a jazz musician or a vocalist and an artist.
Yeah.
Do you find that art or music or creative expressions, be it individually or with an ensemble, do you find that like beyond the words, beyond the discussions, which we have to have, it's so important to do what you've come on to do today, but do you find that that kind of brings some alignment and equilibrium in kind of a way that wasn't as powerful before as up to this point,
100%. What happened, I'll give you a little bit of a backstory. Well, I am always engaging in play. And art or creating is a huge part of that. What I was doing before was still playful. So when I was singing jazz and working in bands and, doing my thing, there's an element of play there. But I hadn't really been through my initiations yet. It was limited. I couldn't look anyone in the eye when I was singing for 20 years because I couldn't bear the thought that they didn't like me. So I was able to be up on that stage, and it seemed like I was like fully confident and fully there, but I wasn't. I was, admittedly, when I did play music like that, a big portion of who I really am could come through because it's so playful. But on a human level, I hadn't gone through the fire yet of facing those shadow parts. So what happened was everything started to collapse around 2019, but on a physical level, I sold all my instruments, particularly my pianos, because that's my history. I've played piano since I was very young. So I sold all my pianos, and what ended up happening was I literally just sat on the grass day after day after day. I had this beautiful little house that I was living in on top of a hill, and all I could do was sit on the grass. And what ended up happening was I started collecting, because I live in Australia, so there's lots of beautiful eucalypt trees. I was collecting beautiful sticks and leaves and anything that had fallen on the ground and going on bushwalks and collecting things. And I started making dream catchers. And I didn't know that I could do that. It just came out of me. And I just kept making them, one after the other, after the other. And I had this entrance in my house filled. Shall I show you what one of them looks like?
Yeah, show us.
I'll give you an example.
The camera's a little delayed. Oh, there you go. So what? You just started making these out of nowhere?
Yeah, so that's like sticks that fell basically in my yard. It's hard to see, but...
No, that's very cool.
And
thank you.
Then since then, I started creating wall weavings and using bright colors. And so art, and I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know that art... I always thought I was crap at art. I thought I was okay at music, but I didn't know I could create. But my hands just want to build. They want to create things with color. They want to touch textile, and they want to, they want to move. And so every day, plus I'm playing my ukuleles every day. And what I want to say about that is the answer to the question is yes, it's everything. It's been such a huge part of my immersion into the new, because just the art of creating itself
Right.
has become so profound and has become so important, for lack of a better word. I literally still have, I'm looking at a whole bunch of them right now. I didn't want to sell them. It felt like it wasn't to build a new business of creating more things and selling them. It was like I just gave them away. It was like, this one's for you, and this one's for you, and this one feels like it's for you. And it just felt like this whole sharing thing started to come about as well. It wasn't about what could I make from them.
That's right.
Was, I had so much joy creating it. Now I just want to give it away. I don't care what comes back. Like, the joy was in the creating. And even when I was, because I stopped performing years ago, and the last the last project I did, I stopped doing my jazz, and I called it Laura's Playground, the playground. And I was literally handing out instruments to everybody in the room and saying, right, let's all make something up. Kind of like what you do with Ty, which is why I'm fully supporting you and always like, commenting on your YouTube videos, because I'm like, yeah, do it. Because it's exciting, to just play. Like, I remember doing a jazz gig once and starting to hand out percussion instruments, and this woman came up and she felt compelled to stand with us, and she was shaking a tambourine. And she was mind-blowingly alive doing that. And she came up to us at the end and was like just giddy with excitement because she got to play in a band. And for me, that is so much thrilling and exciting than me being on the stage and people thinking I'm great. Like, it just doesn't cut it anymore. It's, one of my very last gig that I did, I had a friend playing the violin, a harmonica, I had students coming to sing, I had my shamanic sisters on their drums and their rattles, and just regular people in the bar. And then this, because I bring a big box of percussion instruments, and this little girl was there. She picked up this toy clarinet that was in my box, and it was kind of broken. So when she played it, she was just going, "Aree, aree, aree," like this. And the mum was looking at me like, I'm so sorry. And I said, no, it's perfect.
It's perfect.
And what was it was like Coltrane. It was like listening to avant-garde perfection. And what was so incredible was I didn't plan anything. Everything was created on the spot.
That's right.
And what came through was so profound. I couldn't have, it was music that I'd want to listen to. And I couldn't have composed that by any stretch of the imagination. I could not have by myself come up with that and handed out sheet music and asked everyone to do it. It was in the innocence of the having a go. Mm-hmm. And everyone just coming together, and the being together, and the let's just see what happens, and the playing. This masterpiece came out, what I would consider a masterpiece. And so that showed me, that was like the final point where I said, I need to go and deepen into myself before I come back into this world. I had quite a strong momentum in the jazz world, and I needed to step off the jazz train. Yeah. And I needed to come back to myself. And then I started just, understanding and playing. Now when I play my instruments, I actually detuned all my ukuleles outside of the regular tuning because I didn't want to know what I was doing. I wanted to strum it and go, oh, that sounds good. Because I know too much intellectually.
Right.
That's why I had to get rid of my pianos, because I'm looking at a piano, I'm like, oh, that's B flat, goes with F, play C, play this, do this, do this. It was too cognitive.
Right.
And so now when I'm playing on my instruments, I'm literally like, oh, that's pretty. what happens if I put my finger there? And
Isn't
then my
that
finger just moves one. I'm like, oh, that sounds good. Or, oh, that doesn't sound good.
isn't
And
that though?
it's
I mean,
like childlike.
I'm, yeah, isn't that though like
You go,
a perfect metaphor for what's happening? Like if because you really can't explain it.
right.
But if you want to give like a metaphor or an example that might be a little bit futile in trying to explain it, so it's like your story. You're just going down the road. You're aware. You're sensitive, like all of us, and you start making these dream catchers, and you have this whole evolution of your understanding of your involvement with music, as beautiful and universal as it is. But to discover that the spontaneous, no matter what makes sense or not, actually has a value and
Yeah.
can actually be
Yeah.
capitalized, potentialized in the moment if you have the. And that's what I love about doing the stuff, the music stuff we've been doing since this summer, because, I'm not saying I'm the greatest singer. That's not what it's about. I don't care. Lyricists, whatever the case is, it's about these moments, like you said, these masterpieces that you would listen to again. Their
Yeah.
energy, their code. And that's why I asked the question, because like in going back to the metaphor I was going to bring up, it's like, imagine a world where everybody's 8 to 5, the treadmill, everything we're all familiar with, the career, you got to do this, you got to do that. And it's slowly evolving into a world where you just go home and make dream catchers and play out of tune ukuleles spontaneously with your friends, and abundance comes from that.
Yes, that's right.
You know?
Well, that's where I am. I am in those moments. And there's nothing more to reach for outside of that. There's no money, there's no recognition, external recognition. There's nothing more I could ask for than the presence that's there when I'm in those moments. That is the whole picture. That's where I'm whole. So what else is there to get? Now, that's not to say I still had belief systems and things to unpack around money, around value, self-worth. It was pulling me and guiding me and showing me by feel. See how amazing this feels, and then comparing it to a money exchange, for example. Like it just didn't, not to say that you can't get that from money exchange, but needing something to come back. It's like, I don't need anything to come back. I am receiving and creating everything I need. I'm pulling it in. I'm like, I am the creator of the reality that I am in. And so I don't need you to, and actually it's not a good idea if I need you to like what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's
that
part of
will
the
only
that's part of the
thwart
pre-program. Right?
That is.
And if I look back at
It's been a doozy.
we haven't made so much lately, but like July and August, or 6 weeks, there are three songs that I was involved in, that I was the lead lyricist or vocalist, whatever. That was it for me. I was like, you know what?
Right.
I realized in that point I was able to, and it was going back to your explanation of your own experience, where the human just had to have the balls to do it. I was shaking, my teeth were shattering. I just did you know what I mean? And everything just fell into place.
I was there for that. I remember
right?
that.
That was crazy. And I realized that, and again, your explanation, there's, past, present, future all come together when you get these things, or when I get these things. But the way you explained it was, I knew I had nothing to lose. I knew I'd been through so much, like you talked about. Like, what am I going to do? I've gone live over almost 6,000 times, all right, in whatever number of years. And I thought, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to lie. I went next door and got a whiskey and a beer, and came on, and came over here and but it was still didn't take it off. It was this moment where the human said, you know what? I trust the universe, which means I don't. It's not like I don't care what people think. It was more like, so what? Like, what are you going to do to me?
Yeah.
I'm here. I've come here. I just want to try this, and that's what I said on that show. I said that. I said, I've always wanted to try this,
Yeah.
and here we go, right? But
Yeah.
but to your
Yeah.
point, here you are, an accomplished musician who's had the structure of that. Even though that's a great, place for people, the universal language being through music, but everything's elevating, and here you are coming back to it, and your idea is true jazz, pure spontaneity, pure improvisation, and just like, hey,
That's right.
go get one of those, out of tune ukuleles.
Oh, you're asking me to do that?
Let's do something. What do you want to do?
Yeah. Oh, you want me to do it? Well,
Whatever.
I
What do you feel like?
I mean, I can. It's not actually out of tune. I do have a ukulele here. I could do a little something, but it's not out of tune. It's just not in the traditional tunings, because if I know what the tunings are for that, then I know that's a G, that's a D, that's an F, and I don't want to know anything. I don't want my mind to be involved.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Let's do it.
Whatever it is. I mean, I can have a little go. I don't know. The joke is, I don't know if it's in tune. I'm just not sure if you'll be able to pick it up with my
No, we'll be able to pick it
microphone. That's the only thing.
So
let me just see.
Strum it. Oh yeah, we can hear it fine. We can hear it just fine. You're great. Yeah.
You can hear it just fine?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know what's going to come out, but there are a few chords that I really have been playing quite a bit that I like, so let's just see what comes.
Yeah.
Hopefully okay. Ah.
That's right. Here we go. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
That's cool, man. My heartstrings are like pulling at me. Keep strumming. Let me try something. I've been working on this thing. It's not finished.
Yeah, if I strum, do you want to say something?
Yeah, keep on going. Just keep strumming. And you just do whatever you think you need to do, right? Let's see if I can get there. So this thing I'm writing, it's called Isolated. And it goes like this. I love this strumming. God, it's beautiful. It seems all the doors are closing again. Cycles of perfection and new directions. Another, a soul incarnation, another rising revelation. Life's highest appreciation now. I'm growing love's newest know-how. Every story manifestation situation now. Galactic orchestration initiations, interruptions, losing structure. Well, it's chaos incites the creators in us. Akashic acupuncture in, zero pointing, anointing. Every thought is making something. Peace or pain, what's your pleasure? 'Cause everything is creation. Time's patient, it's what you make it. We all signed up to take it. Ain't no way to escape it. The whispers of the trees bring peace. To be a soul brings me to my knees. Can't be tied down no more by society or any labels, roles, regulations, reputations, and laws. Just making love in the moment with my sister. I don't need your dime, mister. I don't need your time no more, my sisters. We're all on the holy, hallowed ground. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. When I first heard you playing that, strumming it, I immediately thought about where I was last night writing that.
Where you were last night?
Mm-hmm. I was by myself.
Where were you last night?
In solitude, in the deep recesses of my soul, and as soon as you started playing it, I was like, oh my God! What? But here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
The spontaneity brings forth what has shown itself, what is, and what will be. Thank you.
I love your expression as well, Todd. And I've seen many of your shows with Amethyst and Ty and others, and I'm really drawn to them, and I can feel what you're creating in there, because it's the integrity of transparency.
Yeah.
And it's not about how good you sing. And that's my I've been teaching singing for a long time as well, and my work basically evolved away from singing teaching. I mean, I still can work in that area very powerfully, but it's not about how well you sing. It's, are you there when you're singing? Is it you that's expressing itself?
Yeah.
Because when you try and sound good, you're already setting up a duality.
Yeah, that's right.
Because if you want it to be good, it means it can't be bad, which means you're not going to freely let go and express.
Right.
And it's not about sounding good.
No.
It's just not. It's not where the gold is. It's not where the treasure is. It's not in there. It's in the opening to it's the exploration. It's the finding of ourselves through the voice, or through the art, or through the life, or through the experiences. It's not about perfecting anything. There is no such thing other than the perfection of the imperfection,
That's right.
And
that is the beauty.
I love
that is the
watching
beauty.
you, and I'm
The beauty, yeah.
You go.
No, you're right. No, I don't need to say nothing.
Yeah. And I feel happy that, this is moving, because this is almost, those chords are it's like me in a chord, and it's my journey in a chord. It's my story. It's the human story. It's not, there's this element always of like a sadness or a darkness there's a beauty in the darkness. It's the gut-wrenchingly beautiful. It's that. There's that underlying energy of the journey and the intensity of the journey. It's, on one level, it's not real. It's all our own creation. But
Right.
on a human level, it's fucking real.
Yeah, you
It's
better believe it.
right there. It's
You-
right in front of you, happening right before your eyes,
That's why I
and
say.
it's impacting.
That's what we were saying earlier.
And
Like
yeah,
when you take into account the landscape of the multidimensionality, and then you look at it from our perspective, and you think the human is the most mundane,
right.
menial part of it, but it's actually the fucking gold. And this is where
Yeah,
I've been for 11 years, which is,
yeah,
I'm trying not to drop too many F bombs, but, this world's got nothing on me. I love it and I appreciate it, and I'm going to ball out in it. And I want to do things that are against the law. I want to do things that are against the rules, the law. These are not real. I don't want to carry a license. I don't want to carry insurance. I want to go for these things. I want to be, if I'm not teleporting in 2 years, I can promise you that I will be going and doing my own version of Leaving Las Vegas like Nicolas Cage. I'll just go to the pits of hell on earth and just do it till I'm done. But no, I believe we can do this. I'm not into all this 10 years from now and 20. No, man, we are sharp and we have killed it.
yeah,
And the universe is going,
yeah,
holy crap, they've gone so fast. Like, where's
yeah.
this going to come off? We're the ones pulling the trigger here.
Yeah, for sure. And a new reality, like I've never felt it like it is now. I've felt the new, and it's been talking to me for a long time, but it's never landed, like, or maybe I've never landed in it, but I can see it everywhere. It's right here, right now. It's like
Right.
the other one is just superfluous now. It's no longer relevant. And
We,
I love that you talk about teleportation and all, because I know that as well. I know, all my work with the voice, initially it was about just teaching what I'd been taught, although I never really remembered what I was taught when I was trained as a singer, because it wasn't coming from the place where I reside. So my work really evolved into finding someone's organic voice, because when you find someone's organic voice, and how do you do that? You've got to look for, where are they not trusting themselves, essentially, where are they believing the construct. But it feels like now, with enough of that work done, because I don't think people, I saw a quote of yours this morning, Todd, in my book that I wrote down. You were having a conversation with Franco, and it said something like, no one can, I wish I could remember it, no one can leave any stone unturned on the soul highway.
that's right. That's right.
Everyone has to,
That's one of the few
you
things
have
I've
to
said.
face,
I haven't said too many, but that one actually came from 11 years ago when I hit the streets.
right.
And I heard, you cannot, what was it? No, I can't remember. Yeah,
It's not stone
you
unturned.
must
There's
step on
another,
every stone on the
that's it.
soul highway. You cannot go around. You can't leapfrog. And but yeah, I'm so appreciative, and I know I said this before, but I want to say it again because I just want to say it, because I feel like it's important. The way you described it, it doesn't matter if it's Todd sitting down for the first time in the studio with Ty, an amethyst, and trying to do something he's always wanted to do, but always been afraid, or whatever it is, like going and driving a car without having it registered, or whatever it is, whatever it is that you want to defy within. Okay, so it's like the only thing, because again, the multidimensional backdrop, the landscape of the multidimensionality, it's the human. You mean it's the human that actually
Yeah.
can make this thing? You know what I mean? It's
Oh, yeah.
crazy. And I love what you said, because it's doing it the way you told your story about coming on the show, the evolution of it. You're basically talking about an environment which is your universe. It's not Todd, it's not SOULSPEAKS, it's just your universe, your field, saying, I know I'm supported, I'm going to go do this. That's
Yeah.
all it is. So it's the human. And I said this, I wrote this many years ago, and people kind of reacted funny to it. But the universe, everything external of me is my twin flame.
Right.
Metaphorically, and otherwise to a degree.
Well,
I mean, that's all I'm trying to say.
yeah,
And what you were saying earlier, I'm just encapsulating what you were saying earlier.
yeah,
But it's
yeah.
true.
I hear you.
It's all me.
Yeah.
Wow. And the silence.
Gut wrenchingly beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It makes bittersweet look like nothing.
And that's where art comes into play for me as well, because
Yeah.
there's something so beautiful about creating for the sake of creating. And
Yeah.
that could be gardening, it could be just how you
Yes.
have your house,
Yes.
or how you
Yes.
fold your clothes, or how you drink your tea, or it doesn't have to be I'm weaving something or
No.
I'm painting something. It's living in that presence. It's
Present.
feeling that connection
Yeah. That's what I was going to
and
say.
creating each moment from there.
Yeah.
And it's the classic being in the now, which has become almost like the word saying God, because it's very cliche, but actually that's what it is. And the reason that has been difficult in the past is because we've avoided things that feel bad.
Yeah.
But actually they're just gateways. They're always pure. They're gateways. They're like portals into us, and we can't really experience who we really are fully without them. And I feel like that is part of the profundity of being human, is that we're literally creating these portals all day, every day, that we're slipping in and out of. Like, we already are
Mm-hmm.
moving between dimensions. It
Oh,
just looks like on the movie screen, one scene flows perfectly into the next. So it doesn't look like we're already multidimensional and already moving in that fashion, but we are. And it is going to start to become more apparent, and it
yeah.
is going to be something that we're just getting used to it. I think we're just getting used to it, and before we wouldn't have been able to handle it with all the programs we had running. It would would have gone into meltdown. But I feel like we're already doing those things. We are already teleporting in a way,
Yeah.
what you've been doing with Morgan, and what I do with, I've communicated to a friend of mine through a tree. So it was like a tree telephone. My tree spoke to her through its tree, and it was felt very natural and easy, like we'd done that before. And she's on the other side of the world, so we're already playing. I own cats, and anyone who doesn't believe in aliens has never owned a
I
cat before,
never.
because
They're totally alien. Totally. Yeah,
yeah,
I communicated with a tree in England by the name of Winston a few
wow,
years
it
ago.
gave you
Yeah.
its name.
Well, it was like kind of a situation like you had with your friend. It was kind of like that, but
Right.
yeah, yeah. This is cool. I'm digging the energy of, because I know, coming back, and there's been a lot going on, and I know a lot of people have talked about the October, November, December, but really being many different explanations. But some might say the masculine, feminine, third energy coming into their own, learning how to work together. Others may just say this shit's going down, and get used to it. Like you're talking about, and but I really feel like that what we're going to get into as Soulogy, an individual, whatever, that's how the collective goes. I think it's all reflection, and I
Yeah.
feel good about, people coming on like you. There's so many of them, and we're lining them
Yeah.
up. Thank you, Monique.
Yeah.
But so many of them, it's the norm. It's not
Yeah.
the what we've been told. This is actually the norm.
Yeah.
Fairies and the elders
Mm-hmm.
and galactics
Yeah.
and most of all us. Man, soul.
Yes.
The
Well,
newest
it's a
version.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember Franco saying something like, just being yourself is the highest form of expression of your soul.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, because, you know, we've kind of been trained to think we're just lowly humans,
Mm-hmm.
I had resistance to what he said because it was like, what? But what if I'm being annoyed? Or what if I'm being angry? Or what if I'm being, you know, in some kind of unwanted emotional state? And I realized it doesn't really matter what I'm being. It's that I'm being it, that I'm
Yes.
there for it, that I'm
Yes.
honoring whatever it is that's there. That is such a powerful, potent place. And we give a lot of credit to higher beings, you know, that they know more than us, but maybe they haven't come and played in realms
They
like this
haven't. We're the
before. You
boots on
know,
the ground.
I would be absolutely like surfing around and like just like, yeah, if I was living in just pure ninth dimensional bliss and
Yeah.
didn't have,
No,
you
believe
know,
me. It's
much
fun.
contrast going on.
It's funny you say that because two things. One, yeah, we're boots on the ground. I have these conversations with the higher ups or whatever our aspects all the time, especially
Yeah.
the last 10 days. I'm like, what the
Right.
fuck? Okay, you know what? We are the boots on the ground. We're not going to be subservient to anyone's agenda. I am soul.
Right.
You are my equal.
Yeah.
You provided me information. Now we're
Yeah.
going to provide you some. Let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to be ourselves. And the funny thing is I was coming in tonight. I through the flow. My friend rented me her RV for 90 days, and my other friends found a place for me to put it. It was the only monthly RV slot in all of Sedona land, you know.
Wow.
And
Of
so it just
course.
happened, and half the cost of what other people are paying, you know, very affordable. So I'm blessed. And I had this big long day, and I'm coming in, and I'm like, Franco, I know you're here, man. I can feel you. He pops in,
Yeah.
and we were having this conversation, and it was kind of like conversations we had before he transitioned, and then of course this one. But at the same time, it was weird, and and he said to me with a big smile, he said, "You know, I didn't see it then, but I see it now. You do it your way. Don't stop doing it your way."
Yeah. That's
And I
right.
went, okay. And so for like 20 minutes, I just took that in. But yeah, there's no
Yeah.
mistakes. There's no mistakes. You brought that up. There's no mistakes. The music. There's no mistakes. Nothing. Do you want to do something else on the way out the door? Do you want to
Yeah,
whatever you
sure.
want to do? You want to sing something, say something, play something, all of the above. Whatever you want to do.
Would do you want to do something as well? What do you feel?
Uh, I don't know. Just
It's up
play.
to you.
If you want to play something, that's cool. I have a fear
Yeah.
of totally freestyling things. I mean, I do sometimes, but I don't know. I just go
Yeah.
off of whatever's there. You know, I like to listen to all kinds of
Yeah.
different instrumentals, but like your ukulele, that really struck me. That was, you know,
Yeah.
and maybe it can't be
Yeah.
recreated, but yeah, just play something, sing
I mean,
something,
I can. Yeah.
sing something.
My okay. I mean, I can just.
Your vocals are incredible. Your harmonies are incredible.
Thank you. Um, yeah. I mean, I can definitely just sing whatever wants to come through. We can try that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But if you'd like to collaborate, I'm
yeah.
happy to pull out the
I'll
uke and
signal.
do something
I'll
with it.
signal something or something.
You'll
You,
signal something.
you do whatever you want to
Um,
do. You do whatever you want to do. That was
okay,
nice
maybe I'll
before.
pull this out and we'll see. The rain just started.
Can't make this shift up.
Leye Ole, olai, hoai, hoai, olai, lei, olai, ya, 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 hue, ya, lai. Yole, olole, ya, ya, yo, we, ya. Hue, ya, da, ya, he, no, la, ya. Horaru, da, ye, yo. Horare, ole, olai. Horare, ole, olai. Horare, ole, olai. Horare, ole, olai. Horare, ole, ta tika ta 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 tika ta ta tika ta 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 ta.
Wow. Yeah, that's all we needed right there. That was incredible. Yeah, this is what we're trying to do is like capture these moments, cut them up in excerpts, make cartoons out of them, make just regular excerpts out of them. More on that later, where the people actually get to do what they love doing and get paid for it
Yeah,
through gifting.
right.
More on that later.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is what it's about. It doesn't make any sense. If we're going to sit here and be subjected or subject ourselves by our own decision, our own disempowering decision, to allow, the world's rules to rule us, we're going to be right where we're at. But to do stuff like this, and what happens in 30 days when we've done this 30 more times and 30 more people
Yeah, exactly.
have shown themselves through their own story and their own expression through music or whatever it is, what would that look like? Like all that other bullshit's going to go away.
Well, that's the new. That is the new. That is the new earth for me. It's an innocent play.
Yes.
It's a transparency.
Yes.
It's a creating
Transparency.
together for the joy of it, and that we're already doing it. We can already hear the call.
Yeah.
That is who we are, and we can play like that now. We don't even need to worry about what the old world is doing at all. It's not relevant. We are the creators, so we can create whichever reality we want. And the old world does come in to help chisel the diamond, but that's really what it's good for. It's not anything to be afraid of.
No.
It's only a pointer to, you're still attached to something that isn't who you are anymore. And that's really all it is. So I found my home in play and my instruments and my art and my community and my beautiful partner and my cats and my plants, and coming on here and talking to you and stepping up into more of an online way of interfacing is the next logical step, because there is no separation between you and me anymore. Like, we're using a phone, I'm using a phone to connect with you, but you're already in my heart. We're already all playing together anyway. We're just now like walking and stepping into it, becoming full blown out reality.
Yeah, and it works if you use it. Go ahead.
Yeah, you have to use it. That's right, of course. But, we'll be doing it more and more, and people will see like, why are you guys so happy? People still they recognize that in me. They recognize, wow, she seems pretty chipper when the whole world's going to shit.
Yeah, but you're still feeling the same, right? I mean, you feel
and asking me questions like, people ask me, what is it? Why am I like that?
Right.
And I feel like I don't even want to try and teach anymore or do anything like that. I can support people in various ways, but it's like, I'm just being now. I'm just being me. And that is the work. There's nothing to prove. There's nothing to do. We can just play now.
It's easy. Then it's cool.
Yeah, it's easy. We're already there. We've
Yeah,
already landed.
yeah, we're gonna have some.
And I would just,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
well, I just would like to thank you for stepping out, and Morgan and the whole crew, the whole team, all of us, for one by one willing to stand up and be seen, particularly through your format, because I wouldn't be where I am without all the people that I've seen interviewed by you, and your integrity and your honesty, and everybody that I've seen, walk through your doors has helped me remember who I am. And it was the simplicity of that. It was just them being who they are.
Yeah.
And that's really our gift to the world and to ourselves, is just to be that, whatever that is. And it doesn't have to be fancy anymore. It's so simple.
No.
It's how we move mountains and how we create.
What a fantastic.
So thank you. I wanted to thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Because
Thank you.
wow, I mean, that was such a beautiful experience to just kind of do that together. That was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole thing's
I'll
been
listen
cool.
back.
Yeah, the whole thing's
Yeah.
been cool.
Well,
but,
I'm here to, in any way I can support your creative projects or whatever. I would love to bring my energy in here. And that's what I felt that day I contacted you. Was I'd been saying, why are all these doors locked for me? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? And then I saw you and Ty. I was like, oh, well, I want to put my energy in there. Like,
well,
that's
you're gonna do
where
it. You're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Ty is
So
a master.
I'm
Ty's a master.
Yeah.
He's moving so rapidly on the technology, but we'll basically be able to, and we have done it some already, but like with instruments, and even that what came in tonight was fine. But what he's got set up and what we're working towards, it involves being able to do studio sessions, whether they're in the studio or not, with instruments.
Yeah.
It involves animation of any and all content that we have. Imagine having a place where you could go. You got your Facebook, YouTube, you got your marketplace, but you also have this other element where you want to make cartoons, and we make it real easy, right? And there's just so many things, like avatars creating avatars.
Yeah.
Avatars creating
It
consciousness.
feels fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, just like you said, the innocence, the fun.
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy, and the world says we got to pay taxes, but who's they? You know what I mean? We are they.
Well, they are us.
We make the rules right here.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you. All blessings to you and yours. Endless gratitude, love,
And
respect.
to you.
And
to you, my dear friend.
I'll
And
be
to
reaching
everybody.
out to you for some creative collaboration, and we're just gonna
Yay.
keep building this thing. So, thank you so much. Peace
Yeah.
out, everybody, and thank you for
You're
your
so welcome. Thank you for inviting me. Appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you for your continued
Okay.
love and support and contributions. Allow us to keep doing this every day. We're not going to stop, no matter what happens.
Yeah. It's just begun.
Thanks, Laura. And thanks for always
Okay.
supporting me on YouTube, because it meant a lot. It meant a lot.
You're so welcome.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.